Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sirens streams. I am here with Sam Littlefair. Today, we're going to be talking about Prismic Slice Machine and how to use that with SvelteKit. Sam, do you want to give everybody in the audience maybe a little introduction? I know you've been on before, but just give everybody a brief reintroduction to yourself and then tell us what Slice Machine is. It sounds like we're going to have pizza.
Yeah, we haven't even tried to fight the Pizza Association. Like that's just like the go-to emoji at Prismic now for like when we're talking about anything related to work. Yeah, so I'm Sam. My job title has something to do with technical writing at Prismic. So in principle, I work on documentation, but I kind of, and my supervisors have pointed out to me that I kind of wander around the company a lot. So I also like to do videos, and I like to, get involved in the product writing, and especially something that I've been really interested in since I joined Prismic is doing an integration for Svelte. So years ago, I wrote our first documentation for Svelte, and then a year or two ago, I wrote our first component library for Svelte. And then in the past year, I've worked with our engineers, especially our really fantastic developer relations engineer, Angelo Ashmore. Worked with him to, and the DevRel team to get our Slice Machine integration for Svelte together, which is hard to explain why it's exciting. So I'm excited to show it to everyone, because I think when you see it, you kind of start to understand a little bit what's exciting about it. But in order to understand that, I think obviously it's good to start with like, what's the problem? Like, are we just inventing a feature, or is this actually got a real world application? So Brittany, I'm curious. I've seen a lot of websites that you've put out into the world, including the Svelte Sirens website. When you make a website, you're sort of trying to like tell a story, right? You're trying to like share something with people, whether that's information.
Yeah.
And I feel like the biggest part of that story is like text and images.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good. Yeah, I mean, text, images, that tells the story as you go along. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we also have like colors and layouts and stuff.
The layouts, the spacing, yeah.
So how, in the past, how have you handled your text and your images?
I usually just write a component and put that in, or if it's a more content-centric site, maybe Markdown. So
you're using either writing it in JSX or HTML or Svelte?
In Svelte. So in like a Svelte component, or in MD specs for like Markdown. So using something like that and using the Svelte components inside of Markdown, and bringing that into like a blog site to do that.
Yeah, I'm a big MD specs user as well.
Yeah,
done a couple of sites in MD specs. So like my hot take, if you're interested in a hot take.
Absolutely.
And this has not been endorsed by my employer, but I think the web is 30 years old, but we never really figured out how to do content on the web. Like WordPress took a really good stab at it, but then everyone got tired of WordPress for valid reasons. And it's kind of like, I was thinking of it the other day, it's kind of like when a designer designs a page layout. A lot of the time they'll just like have a section where they just write like content, right? And they don't really think of like, we don't really think about like, what are we putting in there and how are we actually practically putting it in there? And so we just kind of call it content, and it's just this kind of like amorphous thing that we kind of, unwieldy thing that we figure out kind of at the end. How are we going to actually deal with it? My hot take is like, that's maybe the most important part of the web. And we've never really come up with a good way to deal with it. Markdown's a good approach, but Markdown is pretty static. If you write your whole website in Markdown, it can be a little bit tricky to parse. There's something I really like about NB specs, which is that like you can isolate elements. So you could like create a custom component for your H1s or whatever and handle them with a Svelte component, which is cool. But in general, my argument is that the state of content management has not kept up with the state of the web itself, especially when you look at how far we've come with application development. So I am genuinely quite excited about what Prismic is doing because I think we've actually got a really good novel approach to content management. And Slice Machine is kind of the secret sauce in all of it. Slice Machine, we're already seeing it's bringing content management into the 21st century, in my opinion, and it's making it feel like how you would expect content management to feel like as a native part of the web.
Okay, I'm actually really interested in this because I had an interesting conversation today with my designer. I was telling you before we started that I do design system work at my job, and I'm the engineer, and then I have one designer who works with me, and he needs to be able to contribute to the documentation site. And he's like, am I going to be able to add things to it? And we're talking about building the documentation site in the next 2 weeks. And I'm like, maybe not at first. I don't know, like if I'm going to be able to get something up and running that you can like contribute to in that timeline. And so I don't know. I'm like looking at options. What can I add in that you're going to be able to do something and add into? Like he doesn't know Markdown, but he could do text. But like I don't want him to have to go out of his way to learn like a whole new tool either. So I'm trying to figure out what the best solution is there. And so this sounds like maybe something that might work if it's the right fit.
Let's take a look. Okay. I'm going to share my screen.
Awesome.
Give me a moment. So,
oh, I did share a couple of links too, but I don't know if I shared the one specifically for Slice Machine. I don't think I did. I just shared the SvelteKit tutorial I think that you had done before. Is there one that you have out for Slice Machine?
Yeah, if you go to our documentation, you can select SvelteKit, and we have docs specifically for SvelteKit. I am having some trouble sharing my screen.
Oh no, do you need to restart real quick?
I might need to. It says the browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues. What is the best way to deal with that?
We should have done that before. Sorry, I didn't think about that. So then choose SvelteKit and then just, is it specific to Slice Machine or it's just the SvelteKit documentation is Slice Machine?
The SvelteKit documentation is Slice Machine now.
Okay, perfect.
What's the best way for me to share my screen? Should I leave and come back?
Usually, are you on a Mac?
Yeah.
Like it'll pop up the allow box, and if it says like it's not allowing you to, if you restart, it will then like let you go into privacy and you have to allow it in there.
Okay.
Did it not pop up the privacy box for you though?
I didn't mention the privacy box.
And then it will tell you that you have to relaunch it, and then it usually does all of that automatically though.
Okay, why don't I leave and come back and see if it gives me a prompt?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good. Right. How's everyone in the chat doing today? I have been working on a carousel for like a week and a half, and I'm kind of going a little crazy. So if I'm like bouncy and a little hyper today, that's why, because I'm a little nuts from building a carousel for a week and a half. And Sam is back.
Okay.
was telling the audience about building the carousel for a week and a half, and then I'm a little crazy.
I'm having one of those weeks where like I'm getting a lot of, still can't share my screen.
Oh no. Is this something that I can demo?
Yeah, I could walk you through it. For sure. Why don't we give that a try? In the meantime, I will keep trying to debug and see if I can get my screen sharing to work.
I bet I will have to restart too, because I don't think I've ever shared on this screen, on this share entire. I just want to share VS Code. Well, let's share the entire screen actually, because oh, maybe that did work. Never mind. Maybe I have done it before. Okay, so I will probably have to zoom in because this is not normally a streaming computer. Everything look okay on there?
We are actually going to need to see your entire screen.
It is my entire screen. This is just VS Code is full screen right now. I'm going to cd into coding, and we'll make directory Sirens streams. Well, I didn't spell that right, but that's fine. And so we're going to create a new repo, or we're going to use a template, or?
We are going to start with a minimal starter. So if you go to prismic.io.
Okay, I'm going to pull just this link over here because this is probably what we're going to be using, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're actually going to start from the homepage of Prismic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love these. So do we need to log in? Like, do I need an account?
Yeah,
I think
click Get Started in the top right corner.
And sign up with GitHub, probably.
Yeah, that's the easiest for sure.
A
bit like a user test for me to watch you onboarding here.
Other remote. A friend or continue. SvelteKit. Okay. Now here, I'm going to let you direct me because I don't know what we want to start with.
Let's start with the full website demo. That'll be more interesting.
Okay. Full website demo. And which one do we want?
So click select there.
Okay. So Prismic Sirens stream. And don't have to do that. It's optional. How do we want to start? Full website demo, free. Is that everything?
Yeah, you're all good. So you're creating a repository. So typically you would use one repository for a website, or like if you have a very big website, you might use one repository for like a section of your website. Like at Prismic, we have one repository for our docs, one repository for the marketing site. So this
so it's not like a monorepo, it's just like one repository. And then how do they get pieced together? Are they different domains?
No, they're not different domains. I mean, you certainly can use one repository for like a large website. In our case, they're actually separate apps. So we have the docs running on a separate app on our docs.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the page builder. This is where you actually manage your content. So you can click on the green button there. And this is going to guide you through launching this starter project. So you can copy that into your terminal. And this is going to, there's a minimal starter there. If you use the minimal starter, it'll just create, it's kind of like a create app kind of thing. It'll create all of your boilerplate. In this case, it's doing a little bit more than that. It is creating a full styled application with content, and it's uploading all of that content to Prismic for you. So all of your content models, all of the content, it's all going to be there, and you're going to have a website with a few pages. If I were sharing my screen, I would be starting from scratch and building it all from scratch. But I think this is a better experience for if you're trying it out for the first time.
Yeah, because you know where everything is and how to do everything.
So if you press any key, you can log in. It'll get you to log in from the terminal.
Perfect. Logged in. And close this.
And then go back to VS Code, or is that VS Code? Yeah.
This is now.
So it's just pushing everything. So what we're trying to do is create a really strong bridge between your code base.
Someone in the chat brought up that a Prismic repo is not equal to a Git repo, and it kind of confused them at first. Like, can you explain what that means?
Yeah, so Prismic, in Prismic, a repository is a repository for your content, not a repository for your code. So it's a similar concept, but there is no like one-to-one mapping. Like typically, if you make a project in Prismic, you probably will have a Git repository for that project. So you will have both a Prismic repository and a Git repository. But no, those are not.
And they don't sync together? How does the content stay synced?
That's a very good question. So the content usually gets pulled in from the CMS at build time. However, what we're going to see here in your VS Code is that we're actually creating, we're not pulling in the content, but we are creating a connection between your code base and the CMS so that there's a smoother development experience. So now you've opened up the CMS here. If you go back to VS Code, have you got the project running?
No, not yet. I just hit yes because it said, do you want to open your repository? And I said yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So now you can type in npm run dev.
I think I need to, cd into code -r and open it up. There we go. And it uses npm by default?
Yeah.
So npm run dev.
Yeah.
Can we convince you to use pnpm?
You're the second person to say that to me this month, so either way. So now this is running two separate servers. One is a server for Slice Machine, which is our developer. Okay. The other is the server.
And then the other one is the Svelte server.
Yeah. So
we have Svelte server there. And this is like the production one. So there must be a development one. Oh, I don't want to do that.
So if you,
I didn't do that either.
That Svelte app is pulling content from Prismic in production.
Okay, so what is this 9999 port?
So this is a Slice Machine is a user interface or a developer tool for creating components and content models in your code base. So what you do here, most of the actions that you take here are actually writing to your file system. And it is just kind of like making that easier. It's offering kind of code snippets, and it's taking care of a lot of the boilerplate and stuff to make it really easy. Because content models are actually very, very complicated. Whatever CMS you're using, the content models are quite tricky. And if you're using a headless CMS, the kind of challenge is that your content models are remote. They're somewhere else. And so if you've ever worked with any headless CMS or even most APIs, you've got the problem of like, my content models are up in the sky and my code is down in my file system, and they don't know what each other look like. So you get a lot of errors. Probably you might have had the experience of like writing out your TypeScript types for your API by hand, you know? So this is taking care of all of that. So Slice Machine, what you're looking at right here on localhost 9999, it's pulling your content models from Prismic and pushing your content models to Prismic so that, or actually not pulling, only pushing. But it's talking with Prismic remotely so that your code base knows what your content is going to look like. So you can click on that page type there. We call them types, or our content models.
And it kind of has like all the pieces, all the components just out here.
Yes. So up at the top, it has a few properties like title and description.
Right here.
There's a separate tab for SEO. So this is just those are just kind of like the static properties that every page needs to have. And then if you go back to the other tab, underneath those static properties are all of the components that you can use with that page type. And we call them slices. So slices are sections of web pages that you kind of stack vertically, like blocks. What's unique here is that these slices are just, in this case, they're just Svelte components. And you'll see, so if you go back to VS Code, in lib, if you open lib and then lib, and then inside lib, there should be a directory called slices.
Okay. And then which one am I looking for?
How about the quote one? Because that should be easy to read.
Okay. We can probably collapse that.
So this is all Tailwind. Oh, this is actually a fair bit more than I was expecting here. But you can see, let's see, where is it? I'm just trying to pick it out in the code here. On line 28, it says Prismic text. So here, this is the actual data from Prismic. That we've got a Svelte component provided by Prismic, which is called Prismic text. And you're just passing data from the API to that component, which in this case is slice.primary.quote, and it's just rendering it as plain text.
Okay.
So that's the basic concept of what's happening here. And this
and that's getting put in from the page.
Yep. So then if you go over back to the page where you were a moment ago.
Slices, data, it's coming from the data, which is coming from the server, which is coming from Prismic.
Exactly. But the actual page is really, really simple. It's just a single component. If you go back to page.svelte.
Yep, here.
It takes all of those components from your lib directory, and it takes all of the slices from the API, and then it just maps them together and kind of weaves them. So it passes all of the data from the API to the components, and that's how you render your pages. What's really beautiful, and I mean, you're not going to see it yet. We can walk through this in a moment, but because this is all modeled in your code base, you like TypeScript or JS doc or whatever language server you're using, it knows the structure of your content. But so now you've seen how the components work. Let's jump back to Prismic for a second so you can see the content side of it.
Okay.
So now this is Slice Machine. So this is what's running locally. But if you go to the other tab, the repository that you just did, so this is where all your documents are.
And we're doing this, but so just mark it as completed.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that. It can't detect that. So.
No, we're not spying that closely.
Okay, edit a page. So open a page to edit, try adding slices and changing the content. Okay, and we do that here on this page?
Yeah, so you can close that drawer and try the home page.
Okay, so this is the title of the home page. Where is this at on the page? Okay, here. So this is the call to action. I don't know, like something like that. And then you save it up here.
Yeah, in the top right corner, you can click save and then publish.
Publish. And then that's done. And where's that little drawer again?
Well, for now, you can actually go to the next tab where you've got the app running on local.
Do I need to refresh?
Yeah, and if you do a refresh.
Nice.
So you've got the content there. And that is kind of how I would usually have done my development in the past. But if you actually go back to Slice Machine.
This one?
No, the last one.
The other one. So this is Slice Machine, this is Prismic.
Yeah, Slice
I have
Machine.
to get them in my head. Okay.
We call them Slice Machine and the Page Builder. So Slice Machine is the developer tool and the Page Builder is the tool
okay.
for marketers or writers. So if you click on, let's look at that same slice, the hero kind of one that was at the top. If you scroll down.
Is it not on here?
It should be here.
Is it in one of these other pieces? I don't see the...
It actually is the first one there.
This one?
Repurpose enterprise paradigms. That's what it is, yeah. It's just rendering a little bit different.
Is it a text?
So this is the model for that whole slice.
So how do you see what you have on the page?
So this is, again, this is running locally. So it's not actually taking the content from Prismic because these slices are all designed to be completely reusable and rearranged.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily know what content your writer is going to put into it.
Yeah.
So with Slice Machine, we've created an environment where you can mock up what it'll look like. If you click on Simulate in the top right corner, so here it's going to pull a preview of what this component looks like.
I saw this do a refresh, so it was doing something over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's actually querying in the background, it's actually querying a hidden page on your SvelteKit app.
Uh-oh.
Oh, try a refresh there.
Yeah, I saw it again there. Okay. But that's still not the right thing, is it? No.
So now this is actually content that's saved locally in your app because it's just meant to be mock content.
Okay.
So this is still all running locally. It's not actually getting anything from Prismic or saving anything to Prismic, but it's giving you an imitation editor so that you as a developer know what this will be like for your marketing team or your writing team when they're actually using these components. So in that editor there, you can change the content. Exactly.
And if you save mock content, then what happens to that and how do you translate that back?
So this is still just going to save locally. I actually like if you click replace on the image, I think this is kind of cool.
Where's replace on the image?
In the editor on the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side, replace.
You can actually use any image from Unsplash there. So
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So this gives you a sense what this experience will be like for your editor. And if you make any changes to the model, if you add any fields or change the configuration on any fields, then you can push the whole model to Prismic again. And then your editors have the updated model to use when they're creating content. So it's actually closing the loop on like your code base and your content. You're like models, pushing the models to Prismic, and then your writers are using those models to create content, and the content is getting pushed back to your app through the API.
Nice.
I'm like, this demo app is a little bit, because it's using all this Tailwind, it's a little bit advanced, but I would really love to show you what it's like to actually edit content in Prismic. But
yeah, absolutely.
Or in edit component, I mean, rather than content. So you could close this tab.
This one completely?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now go to click on page types in the left.
Okay.
Click on page. Now, towards about halfway down the page, it says slice zone, and on the right it says add. So we're gonna, create a blank slice. So we're gonna create a slice from scratch here. Call it magical slice.
Does it need to be camel case? Is that what it was? Magical.
Pastel case. Yeah, capital M.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's add a rich text field. You can call it anything.
Are these like descriptive names of what they are?
Yeah, your writer will see this name.
Oh, it's just rich text.
Yeah, that's cool. And click add, and then add a new field.
Okay.
And let's add an image.
Okay.
Then click save. When you click save, this is actually updating this in your file system. So if you go back to VS Code, if you go back,
that is crazy.
Yeah,
that's nuts. Okay, that's kind of nuts.
Okay, now there's some placeholder content there. I think it's line 7.
Yeah.
You can delete that line. Now in that section element, you can type, we're gonna put in a component. So put in the opening triangle and then type capital P Prismic rich text. It's the name of the component. Yeah, just click enter. So you've got that auto import there. And then type in.
Copilot's really trying to help me out, sorry.
It really is. I don't think that's correct, but it's.
Yeah, it probably isn't. Just ignore Copilot. I'm not going to disable it because it'll break something else for me.
And then we're going to pass a prop, which is, the prop is called field.
Is that right? Slice primary?
Slice.primary.rich text.
Okay, primary.rich underscore?
Yeah.
Text, okay. And then we need the closing bracket.
Yeah.
Save. I'm going to add this as a spelling thing because this is just going to drive me absolutely bonkers. I keep looking at the blue squigglies.
If you're using TypeScript or any kind of typing, then it can actually see, it will actually suggest, slice.primary.rich text for you because it knows that that's the shape of the slice. And then
we must not have TypeScript in this starter template that we used because, yeah.
It should have JS doc too, though. Let's try it again. Add another line after that one, and this time use Prismic image.
Okay.
We got the auto import. Oh, just a second. That import is wrong.
I was like, it's doing it again.
Prismic image is correct. After, so where it says import Prismic image, can you put comma after Prismic image?
Oh yeah, and this should be from Prismic
Mm-hmm.
rich text, and then this. Wait.
And delete line 2. Yeah.
Why is this? Oh, it's already been declared. Never mind.
So that's Prismic image, you can close that one on line 10. And then now try adding the prop now. Add field.
See, I have TypeScript stuff enabled because it's something enabled. We're getting like type IntelliSense.
Yeah. And and then field equals slice dot primary. So now we're getting the proper typing there. Okay. And you can slice dot image.
Meant to hit tab and I hit enter and it didn't like that. Okay.
So now
there's the typing too. The JS doc typing is there now. That was weird. Sometimes VS Code does that to me too. Maybe it was because it grabbed the wrong import the first time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would make sense. So if you save this and then go back to Slice Machine.
Save and then go back to Slice Machine. Okay. And it's telling me to push my changes.
Don't worry about that just yet. We'll do that in a moment.
So X that out.
For now, click Simulate.
Simulate.
Top right corner. Suspenseful.
Okay, so we have text and an image.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a live preview of your component. And you can, what I do is I put this simulator side by side with VS Code, and then you can do your development live like that. Yeah.
We can collapse that.
So let's just style the image for now. You could open a style tag.
Okay.
And let's say
can we not use Tailwind since
I'm just gonna
Oh wait, we can't because can you do classes on these? Oh, you can. They have set it up like that. Okay. I didn't know if they had because sometimes people don't set it up like that, but
I'm going to do it caveman style though and just use simple CSS. You can type section global with the global.
Oh, we have to do the global for this? Wait, what? You mean a global around it? Like this?
No. So section and then after section, use the global pseudo selector and then use that to select the image. I don't think this has Sass installed, so you have to do it with classic CSS.
Like not nesting yet. We can't do that yet.
No.
It's close, right? I think.
And then let's say width 200 pixels, height auto, or height 200 pixels.
Oh, my prettier. Okay, so it did it automatically over there.
Perfect. And then let's push this to use in Prismic. So you can go back to, you can close the slice simulator now. This isn't super pretty yet, but recognize we're short on time, so let's not spend too much time on the CSS. So that's all saved.
That's the fun part.
I know. So you can see there's a tab there called Changes, and it has like, I think a 2 on it.
Changes and 2. Yes, this one. Missing screenshots.
What that's telling you is that you have changed you've created a slice, so you've added a new model, and also you added that slice to your page type. So you also changed the page type because you added a slice that's available to use in it. So you can push that to Prismic.
So, I mean, it will do all of this kind of automatically.
The screenshot, you can screenshot it manually and then upload that. That's actually something that's kind of in development right now. We had automatic screenshots, but in order to do that, we need Puppeteer. And Puppeteer.
What does it mean by screenshot? Like screenshotting something in the app?
It's a screenshot of the actual component, what it looks like.
So bringing it into like the page and then just screenshotting that. And okay, so we could do that. Plus page.svelte and just bring in the magical slice. Is that the right data? Probably not. I don't know what the data looks like for that.
Right now, you won't have any data for it, and yeah, it would be a headache to write that by hand. But we will actually do it through Prismic. So if you go back to Slice Machine.
Where was that at? Why is this import mad at me? Slices. Oh, it needs an extra magical slice. I hate when it auto imports things and it still gets them wrong. It's like,
No.
What's wrong now? Lib components. Seriously, like it just got it all wrong. Lib component slices.
So I see what you're doing.
Oh,
What's wonderful about this is that you actually don't have to do this because Slice Machine has already wired it up so that component is already getting passed to the
I was just trying to pull it in to get the screenshot.
Well, then
I don't have to do that?
No.
Okay, then just tell me what I need to do. Okay. I still don't know why it wouldn't let me like import it because that was weird, but
there's going to be a little bit of magic happening here. So you can delete line 9.
Okay.
Yeah. So go back to Slice Machine first.
Slice Machine.
We're just going to push it without the screenshot, first of all. So you can click on push change in the top right corner. Yeah.
Okay.
Then go back to Prismic, the page builder. Yeah. Open your homepage document.
I'm learning the names.
This is going remarkably smoothly.
Okay.
And then just at the top of the page, we'll add just so that it's obvious. We'll add a really beautiful new component. So if you scroll to the right, magical slice.
Sweet. And then save and then publish.
You can also, before you publish, you can put some content into it because now it's just an empty component.
Oh, yeah. So you just have to type something in here. Is there like any way to do like lorem ipsum easily in here, or you just have to type some?
You just have to type some. There's no default.
Lorem ipsum.
Perfect.
Copy. Nope, not that one. Whoops. And I need it. What happened to my page? There it is. Okay, and then the image. We need to find a cat image.
You can use any.
Cat?
These ones. We don't have a cat in here yet.
Oh no. Okay.
We actually, I'm disappointed that I can't share my screen because I was going to. Sorry.
Oh, when I filtered it, it took them all away, and then I had to click on something else, and they came back.
Yeah, that's a feature that we're working on right now on refreshing. Basically, we've got a brand new feature that's still in beta, and I was going to give you a sneak preview. We've redesigned this whole editor view. So it looks, I like this one, but the new one is really beautiful. It's really
cool.
and we've redesigned all of this. So if you come back in a couple of months, this will look completely different.
Interesting. So it would have been interesting for people to see it today from your screen.
Yeah, I can actually show you. I think I can show you what it looks like. I think we've got.
So that is published now. If I refresh here, does that bring it in? Yes.
Not super beautiful yet, but you can see how we're starting to.
Prismic in chat said, do you want me to activate it?
Yeah. Yes.
Somebody's spying on you in the chat.
No, I feel like my team's here. They've got my back.
That's support. Yeah, that's important. They're not spying at all. It's just they're
also,
supporting.
I'm getting some envy right now because I wrote to our project manager who's redoing the editor yesterday, and I said, can I get access so that I can activate repositories with the new editor? And he was like, no, nobody can do that. Only our backend engineers can do that. But there's somebody has access to activate it.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm not sure who that is, and I don't have Slack open right now, so I can't actually check. But so this shows you, you've just, with this, with creating this slice, you've gotten a sense of what the development cycle is like. So you're creating these components in your code base, and when you click create slice, it actually creates the component for you, and it creates all the TypeScript types, and it creates the JSON model, and then it pushes it to Prismic, and then once it's in Prismic, your writers can use it. So it creates like a really, really safe development flow. You can create really beautifully styled and designed components, and then by the time you push them to the CMS, you know that they work. You know that your content team isn't going to break the production site.
That's cool. And I just noticed something, and it's bothering me.
Yeah.
Hunt by meowing loudly at 5 a.m. and I'm not seeing a space. There's no space here. Is this a bug?
Go back to the editor. Where should there be a space?
There should be right here. I just pasted it though. That's super weird. I just did a Command V, but there's like it missed spaces all over it, I feel like. Huh. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to just Command C, and then in the editor, Command V. And what happened if there's like, it's a space here. I bet this is a bug.
This is a bug with copy pasting, you think?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. Has Prismic followed up in the chat? I actually can't see.
They did. They said it's done.
Okay.
I'll have to configure the preview though to have the full experience, they said.
Yeah. Go back in the top left corner.
Sorry. Publish that, and then we will go back to which one? This one, Slice Machine?
No, stay in this tab.
Oh, okay.
In the folder.
Back.
Now, if it's activated, try reopening the home document. Let's see if this works.
Whoa. Look at that. That's amazing. That is much better.
Yeah. Doesn't this feel fresh?
Yeah. And let's see if we still have the bug.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's the question. Because they put a lot of things in.
No, it's gone in the new one.
And this is a really nice editing experience. This is like if you edit in any kind of like markdown flavor editor, like try writing. If you type like a number sign, you'll get a heading. If you type I think it's the /, you'll get like a menu.
I can't hit enter here.
Oh, that makes sense actually. Go back to the start of Yeah, go back to the very start of the text and type a number sign space.
A number like that? Oh, you mean a pound? Like, sorry. Like, is it okay? Or yeah. Depends on which generation you're from, and I'm from the generation that it was a number sign, and I've gotten so used to it. Okay. That and a space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got that kind of like text-based.
Yeah. So this is like the title if you wanted to do like a cat story. I just wanted to see. I still can't hit enter. Why can I not hit enter?
So that's because in your content model, this is configured to be only a single paragraph, just as a protection. Like,
oh.
So for example, if it was a title field, you wouldn't want you wouldn't want your writers being able to put multiple paragraphs.
I see. Okay. So that's my fault.
No.
Yes.
And then
like instead of rich text, you should label that more as like title and paragraph or like description or something just more descriptive than rich text.
So now my next question is, how quickly do you think we could deploy this to Vercel?
As I'm wearing a Netlify shirt.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I don't care. I don't care. I used to work for Netlify. I don't anymore. So I haven't deployed anything to Vercel in like a really long time. So probably like a minute.
Have you deployed SvelteKit on Netlify? Because I haven't tried it yet.
Yes.
Okay. So if you think we could deploy, how much
I have the Sirens site is on Netlify. Like, yeah.
How much time do we have left in the stream?
8 minutes.
8 minutes? Because if we
we need to get it on Git. So let's do a couple things first. So we need a Git repo. We need a gh repo create a new Sirens stream Prismic. Yes, under that one. No description for now. Public. No readme. Oh, it's great. I gotta go back because I need to do the git add. Can't get a init. I haven't done this in a while. Git.
It's actually really impressive.
Oh, -b main. Git add. Git commit. Init. And then now we should be able to do that. Gh repo create a new repository, Svelte Sirens. Oh, not Svelte Sirens, Sirens stream. Prismic. Public. No, why are we still doing that? No. Leave me alone. Yes, I do want you to do that. No, because this is the one I want you to push there. Well, this is what I was trying to avoid, is that I'm going to now have to go and get the origin.
It's very clear that you're a pro watching you do this.
Pro? I don't know about that. Git remote add origin. Please? Yes, okay. Git push origin main. Please work. Okay. So we have a Git repository now. For everyone in the audience, you may have that. And we need the Vercel stuff. So
Vercel or
huh?
Vercel or Netlify, whichever you're more confident with.
I don't care. It's fine. Plug in, GitHub. Yeah, I have a few. Okay. So I don't have, I have like a Netlify CLI that will allow me to deploy really fast, but we can probably just use their
Yeah.
GUI. Add a new site. Is that how we do this?
Add from GitHub.
Project,
Yeah.
import Git repository. This one, import SvelteKit, deploy.
Yeah. They've got a nice integration. I was playing with this today and it was working really nicely. Oh, but you know what? I was getting an error from the pre-rendering, so that might happen again. If we get an error, we might have to remove the pre-rendering.
Yeah, we may need a different adapter. We just have adapter auto though, so it should be pulling from Vercel's adapter. The pre-rendering would be here. If we use static, if we just use the static adapter, that might fix the pre-rendering problem. So we'll try that first. And then if we get an error, we'll try the static adapter.
Oh.
But it worked, it looks like.
Okay, get the URL for, so if you go to the dashboard. Gosh, I hope this works. Take the URL for the Vercel site.
This one.
Just copy that. Now go back to the page builder.
Page builder, the Prismic one. This one?
Mm-hmm. Now there's a hamburger menu in the top right, a 3-button menu. Oh, no, go back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for it. I thought you meant on the main page. In the top right.
Yeah. And then live preview settings. I have no idea if this is going to work. Paste the URL and click save.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Tros Codes is in the chat. Hey, buddy.
What's happening right now? It looks like
I don't know. It saved. It did something. Oh, it says error. We've got some errors. So it may not be completely ready, but
let me just check. I wrote docs for this, so.
You're like, I basically wrote the book on this. It should work.
And I was looking at the docs for this just a moment ago. Have a URL for your website to add in the page builder. Okay, so it's not going to work just yet.
Yeah. Okay.
The reason we do that.
Remove that.
The reason we do that is because you were in Slice Machine. You were looking at a simulated rendering of your slice using mock content.
It won't let me remove it and save it.
Oh, well, that's okay. It's not going to cause any problems if you leave it there.
Oh, okay. Even the errors are not a big deal.
No, I mean, these ones are just, it's just a preview error. Basically, what's supposed to happen here is earlier we were using that simulator window, which was showing you like a mocked up simulation of what each slice looks like. And in principle, what happens here is we actually.
Alex is saying it should be at Slice Simulator. Is that a different like URL? Like, do I need? Is it a like?
You could route? add /slice simulator. I don't slice hyphen.
There are different routes in the app that is for that specifically. Yeah, right here. There's a different route for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. You are so right, Alex. Thank you.
So this is actually pulling live renderings of each of your slice components from your SvelteKit app in an iframe. And now try editing some of the content here.
I really want to hit enter really bad on this. So
it's hard to see because it's so much text, but you're actually getting a live rendering of that text in that slice component in the thumbnails there.
In the thumbnails of where?
See on the left there? You've got a thumbnail of that slice.
Oh, I do see that. Yeah.
It's rendering live as you type.
Oh, cool.
So that is actually sending this text to your SvelteKit app and and pulling back the rendering in an iframe.
Now, this is rendering all of this live here, but let's say I save and I publish this. That is a pre-rendered application. The site has to be rebuilt for all of that content to go live.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
is there any way to do that server-side rendered and pull that data from the server, like
yeah.
streaming, like so you don't have it pre-rendered?
Yeah. We support pre-rendering and server-side. I think right now we're encouraging users to use pre-rendering just because static sites are in principle a little bit faster. But the SvelteKit sites I've done with Prismic, I've done them all with SSR, just because there are some trade-offs. But what you're seeing here with these thumbnails in the left-hand sidebar, this is the kind of like, this comes from our new Slice Machine integration, which is what we're really excited about, because we're developing probably in the CMS world, this is like the most highly customized framework integration. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm totally correct on that, but I've never seen a framework integration that couples so closely between the CMS and the framework. And because we're creating that connection between the CMS and the framework, which in this case is SvelteKit, but we also have adapters for Next.js, Next2, and Next3. And so we're integrating the CMS into the framework, and that gives us kind of like superpowers. Like we're doing this beautiful live rendering. You've got the type safety for your content in your code. We're creating components in your file system. So
yeah. It's kind of a crazy amount of work. Like you don't even think about all of that and how all of that plays together. And y'all are doing an amazing job, like keeping up too. It's the fact that it created that in the app, my mind was kind of blown at that point. I'm like, how did that just happen?
Yeah. And I mean, it feels like you want it to be that simple, right?
Yeah. And it's nice. And usually as a developer, like I've used CMSs before and I'm like, I don't need this. But this was not one of those experiences where I was like, I don't feel like I need to use this. This is for other people, but it's such a nice experience for me that I don't feel like I'm using it. And it's like an extension of that. It's not something that's a burden to me.
Yeah, we really care about the experience of the developers. And that's, I mean, we're doing both right now.
That's the difference, yeah.
With Slice Machine, we're putting a ton of energy into the developer experience, and with the page builder, what you're looking at right here, we're putting a ton of effort into optimizing the experience for writers and marketers, marketing teams. And it feels like that's really starting to show, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for showing me this. Here, let me just hide my screen for a second. That was amazing. I'm really impressed by that. And thank you. I know tomorrow we are doing a podcast for Coding Cat. And then I think we're actually recording a Svelte Radio episode with you in a few weeks too. So I'm excited to hear more about Slice Machine and what Prismic's doing. And thank you for coming on again.
Thank you so much, Brittany. That was a lot of fun. It's hilarious that we started off not being able with the hiccup around screen sharing. And then I feel like that was a lot better than just me doing a boring demo.
I really like doing the live coding sometimes, because sometimes it just works better and you actually get to see like how another user that's not familiar with your system uses it. And sometimes you pick up on things you don't really like notice right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Brent. Thanks for everybody for coming. I think next week we have Thomas coming to talk about Melt UI, Radix, like how he transforms all of these packages into Svelte from other frameworks, and hopefully have more streams coming your way soon. So thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.
See you, everyone. Bye, Brittany.